Well, if you can't, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
Just do it the way you need to. This is going to work for me, for advertising for me.
It is going to work for me too. Mm-hmm.
And there we go. We're now on live.
Sounds perfect.
Get there. Make sure the volume's down. That way, if I get any questions, I will see it.
I don't know if I'm going to.
You're fine.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Well, hello everybody. This is the Recovery Atheist to you, and we're coming live right now. I've got a TikToker with me, and we're going to discuss some recovery subjects. And the TikToker I got with me is Frog5150.
Yep, we're going to show a little crazy.
A little crazy today?
Yeah,
a little bit of craziness today.
You know, here's the deal. I'm not afraid to show my crazy to the world, because there's a lot of people that are. There's a lot of people afraid to speak up on what's really going on in their life, and recovery and relationships, and just how do we handle it? You know,
Right.
How is it that what's right, what's wrong?
Well, you said you wanted to do some recovery discussions dealing with relationship issues, things of that nature. It always seems to be a big conversation piece, especially when we're in our groups and stuff like that, is be careful about women, be careful about relationships.
Right.
Don't have them. Right now you're in a vulnerable spot.
Follow yourself.
So what is the biggest for you? What is the biggest thing in relationships that when you're fresh from recovery ends up being a problem?
I think trust.
Trust?
I think trust and communication are the two biggest things in any relationship, whether it be man, female, your dog. Guess what? Your dog, why they're such good friends is because they're, they're routine. They're loyal. They're the exact same every single day.
Correct.
People can't be like that.
No.
Some reason we can't handle being the same every day.
Right.
So what do we do?
Right.
What do we do when every relationship we've ever had looks the same way when you're sober or messed up?
Well, and I've said this in groups, and we've had groups, is that I struggle with the idea of relationships in general, because every single time I've had one, the trust issues are there. Every single time something goes wrong in it, so I've been conditioned to where if I get into one, it might be beautiful at first, it's a great thing at first, but it always ends in tragedy at the end. And it's hard for me to want to get back into a relationship, not fearing that it's all going to blow up in my face again. I mean, I've got enough stuff on my plate as it is, dealing in recovery and trying to stay sober and work and do what I need to do to be in recovery.
And be healthy.
And be healthy, correct, and then have that not go in a healthy way.
So that's what I mean by it looks like the same as every other past relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So our distrust comes from somewhere.
Right.
Our insecurities, when we're sober, all of a sudden come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not feeling worthy
Mm-hmm.
of this good or bad relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, that's pretty much my question is, how do you know when it looks the same, you feel different? What's the right and wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
what's going to be different?
what's got to be different?
Mm-hmm.
Or what possibly could be different if it feels and looks exactly the same?
Well, do you think some of it has to do with being able to set up your own personal boundaries?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know for me in past relationships that I've had, I've kind of been the caretaker. I haven't necessarily set up anything to where I have boundaries for myself in self-care, things of that nature, and I'm just doing everything to please the other person. And then when it gets to the end of the relationship, I pretty much have gotten to the point of, well, fuck it. Fuck it, I'm done trying to please, and I'm going to do what I want, and it goes completely horribly wrong the opposite way. And then, of course, they end up leaving because they don't want to deal with me in that condition, my drinking, everything else like that.
Now, is that self-sabotage?
That is a good question. We can get on that.
Oh, man, we're going to get on. Look, you're going to see the 5150 coming out, because I might even talk in circles, you guys. But these are issues I have.
Self-sabotage for me is the number one reason I sit in a sober living house right now and have destroyed my career, which I'm trying to get back now. Marriages. Right. It's like I don't want to deal with that or have an adult conversation with that individual and set boundaries. Instead, it's like I just want to run from it and be done with it. So a lot of times what I do is, you're right, I self-sabotage it, destroy it, so that way I can say when it ends, look, see, I knew it was going to end anyway, I knew it was going to end like this, it just wasn't meant to be.
So now we're mind readers.
Well, of course.
How are we mind readers if we're not making all this money?
Well, if I was a mind reader...
How can we do that? I mean, I know people that are pretending to do that, you guys, and getting paid for it. Okay, so stop giving those people your money.
Yeah. If I was a mind reader, I'd be on the talk show circuit right now.
If anybody was a real mind reader, or
making lots and lots of money. No, I can't be a mind reader. I've got to be able to vocalize, be able to talk. I think that's the biggest thing for me in recovery now, is I have to be able to talk about situations that I need to talk about and be able to be honest about it, whether it hurts someone's feelings, whether it's a tough conversation to have. You got to be able to be open and talk and have dialogue that way.
Right. Communication.
Well, we talk about DBT skills all the time in groups, mindfulness, how we validate people and listen to them, reflective listening.
Validation's a big deal.
Well, how does that play out for you?
Validation's a big deal. I mean, so I'm used to doing things. I'm used to doing things for a reason, for a response. So now I'm different. And I'm doing things out of my heart, and they're saying, nothing, or there is no thank you, or thanks for, there's just no validation.
Do you think some of that is because they don't necessarily believe you?
There might be a point.
Because I look at it that way, is that I think a lot of times the reason why I don't get response from people is because they've heard it over and over and over again.
Okay.
And do they believe it or not? And so it's like, should they validate? Should they validate? Should they give trust to me when I've done nothing but trample on it?
So what happens when you're trampling, when you're the trampler, and you overstep boundaries that you didn't know, and you're bringing back other post-traumatic stresses for other people.
Correct.
And how do you get out of that? The words are already said. You can't back out of that.
Well, again, it comes to having conversation and being able to have an adult conversation. Now, as an addict myself, I don't know exactly how to have an adult conversation all the time. Bring it.
Yeah, I actually brought a little something for us, you guys. I have to read this all the time because I'm horrible at adult relationships. I've never had an adult relationship. I've always been hit it or quit it, or I'm moving in, baby. You know what I mean? There's no in between. So an adult relationship, it says that you must have sense of freedom, even in a relationship.
Oh, yes.
And privacy.
Yes.
What? Privacy too? You gotta be kidding me. They can do whatever they want. Can't change anything. Boom. That was a big one for me to eat. That was a hard one for me to chew and swallow. Because I've always, I can say always, more than 5. Always and means, there's actually a number to it. It's 5, more than 5. I looked it up. It has to be true. Internet's always true. But, okay.
That's subjective.
Subjective. Yeah, absolutely. But to not know partner's friends and they go out all the time, all of a sudden insecurities and thoughts, there's no positive coming out of that. Suspicion, there's no positive suspicions. None. If there's suspicion, there's doubt. If there's doubt, there's no trust. Right?
But don't you think that in relationships that happens normally?
I don't know.
I
Here's
agree.
what
I don't
I'm
know.
talking about.
I agree. I don't know either, but I would think if it is a normal human relationship, like, okay, I'll just use the example between friends. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, just friends.
Right.
That there's times that friends will do things that are a little suspicious. Doesn't mean they're not your friend, but it might be something that needs to be discussed and talk about those boundaries to keep the friendship in a healthy spot.
Right.
For me personally, I don't think there's no way to correct it. I think that
I don't think there's nothing to be corrected.
no, we're human. We make mistakes,
And we have feelings.
and we do, and so there always, I feel, has to be a way to correct it. I believe in living in solutions rather than the problems. I think if we live in the problems more, we just create more problems.
I agree.
So solutions are huge, and what those solutions are is what we're kind of talking about here. Is what are those solutions going to be for us in recovery? Because we're going to run into these. We got to go back and talk to people that we've pissed off and have taken advantage of and manipulated, and we got to try to find a way. Because some of the relationships we have, there's no choice.
Right.
An ex-girlfriend, that's one thing, but if we're talking about family members, friends, children,
Yeah.
we're going to have to figure out how we're going to be able to mend the time and the things that we did that were wrong.
Time is the only thing I figured out so far that lets feelings heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can figure out so far. So, our suspicious minds,
Mm-hmm.
our doubt of life, and our, I don't even know how to say it, our insecurity in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just only
Lots
like,
of
only-
insecurity in life right now.
insecurity in life right now because of the COVID. We're all cooped up. We're not getting out doing what we're supposed to do. We're starting to feel lesser of ourselves. I know I am. I can only speak for myself, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started looking deeper into things,
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of my problem. I'm overanalyzing everything.
Which is what we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. So I'm overanalyzing. I'm blaming with no actual facts at all.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Just a suspicion. Here I'm reading minds and getting myself in trouble
Mm-hmm.
with the person I care for,
Right.
with the people I care for.
Right. Yeah, talking about the insecurities.
I don't like talking about insecurities.
I don't like it either, but you and I talked about this with our counselor the other day. I have an insecurity with a lot of things. I want to know that I have a roof over my head. I want to know that I have food to be able to eat and
Gotta
be
live.
able to use a bathroom and shower and keep clean and wash clothes.
Gotta live.
It's amazing how when you're in recovery, the simplest creature comforts.
Creature comfort.
That's the way I like to say it. It's not about necessarily having a phone or having internet access or a PS4 or whatever. It's just about being able to have a bed to sleep in.
Right.
And I'm at that point where I'm working part-time. The money is not going to be as much as I normally like to make.
Me either.
And having to try to find a way to afford living in sober living with rent and other things of that nature. If I didn't sit here and say that is definitely a constant in the back of my mind that drives my anxiety through the roof, I'd be lying.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, the uncertainty of our future is uncertain.
That's where we're at right now.
I know. And that's why
That's a scary
this
thing.
is why I'm here talking with you on
Right.
this Saturday night, because I'm not healthy right now.
Right.
I'm not.
In the past, on a Saturday night, you don't even want to know. But
maybe this is the new Sean Nelson.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is
I mean, this is
we have to completely reinvent ourselves.
Yeah, and some might already know me, but you know, I put it out there, I'm crazy, but you don't want to test it, please. You know, I appreciate it not. I'm trying to be grown up and big boy about it, and I'm trying to have healthy and meaningful relationships in life. Plain and simple. That's just what I want, and that's where this discussion is kind of leading down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are we gonna make sure? How are we gonna make sure that our relationships, all relationships, are healthy ones, moving forward, with our insecurities, with our doubt, with our self-worth down,
Mm-hmm.
and in the society today where we have to do this to get friends.
Yeah, we're doing
Whoa.
a lot of this to have to talk to
Whoa,
people.
That's amazing.
This is honestly,
That's
it's the
crazy.
truth. This is how I connect with people, is doing my podcast and being able
Right.
to talk with others. And I love doing this whole thing of being able to collaborate and go over different ideas, because then that way I can get a better idea of the thoughts that are going on in my head, which
Absolutely.
is scary at times, the
This
thoughts.
is helping me as much as I hope it's helping you.
It is.
Because it's helping me.
I was thinking about it
need
tonight. I was
to
like,
just-
should I do it? I did a podcast last night and posted it, and I'm like, should I do another one tonight just for the hell of it, because I really want to? And so this idea coming up that you had was
You know,
right in my wheelhouse. I was like, this would be a good idea to do. I guess the biggest thing, you're talking about how we can have healthy relationships and start doing that. I guess the biggest thing is communication.
And AA and NA are great, but right now they're slim to none without 18 of them getting high in the bathroom.
And I'm not a huge...
I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
Being
This is
the
true.
being the recovery atheist, I'm not a
Yeah.
huge 12-stepper.
And I guess no, and neither am I.
I'm not. I get it why it's there, and there's a lot of people that need to have it.
Absolutely.
But for me, have a hard time with the 12 steps, with the God concept, the higher power concept. That's why I started this podcast in the first
I
place.
thought I was God.
Well,
mean,
I'm
who
at the
knows?
point with
Who
it.
would know?
Well, when I'm using, yes, I'm God.
Yeah, who would have known that? I'm not God.
I'm not God. I can
That's
definitely say that. But at the same time, how are we going to keep ourselves? I know for me personally, I have to keep myself busy. If I'm just sitting at home doing nothing and isolating, you might as well just put a bottle in my hand. My brain starts getting
invisible.
going, and I'm just tapping it back. So, yeah, I think the first thing when it comes to us being healthy is being able to communicate, being able to be honest and open. And if I'm having, like, between you and me, like in the AA book, it says being able to tell each other where we're at between two alcoholics. That's why they got it started in the first place. If I'm having a problem, being able to go to you and be like, dude, this is what my thoughts are, and it's not in a good place. Please help me work through this because I need it. And I think that's a huge thing, like with the groups that we do in outpatient, that's a huge thing to have that support.
Absolutely.
To be able to talk to each other and be like, man, I'm feeling like, a bottle of vodka today would hit the spot, and I know I shouldn't do it.
Right. Well, thankfully, I kicked the liquor bottle
Mm-hmm.
in 2015. I had a pretty bad breakup with alcohol, and but I never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it just pretty much disgusting now.
Mm-hmm. My buddy Justin, he posted something he's watching. He's a buddy I went through treatment with down in Kentucky. Just one of the smartest individuals I've ever met in my life. He's got like 3 or 4 master's degrees.
All right.
He says, once you learn to honor and be truly vulnerable with one another, the real soul work and real freedom can begin. And I think that's a very good point.
That's a great point.
Very good point. I haven't been able to honor and be truly vulnerable with myself over these last 7 years. I run away from being honest about my feelings, my emotions.
I let it all out. I have to, otherwise I become this big ball of anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so my previous past, it's hard, it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship I'm in right now, I felt I let myself just be 100% vulnerable to her, and I think that was a little too much. I think
Feel like I got violated a little.
Yeah, I think that's a violation of myself. I should have. I'm just quick to jump into things. I'm quick into loving people. You know, oh my gosh, this girl likes me. Woo! You know,
I'm the same way.
It's just retarded. You know, men are retarded, you guys. You know, we think with the wrong head sometimes.
Correct.
Just, I mean, we all know that's true. But I feel like all of a sudden that was played against me sometimes. You know, where it leaves them open for excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're sitting here waiting on them.
Mm-hmm.
And loving them more than ever because we let ourselves get to that point where we love too much.
Well, and then
or even depend.
And then because of that, they know they got you.
Yeah. They can do whatever they want.
They know they got you. At that point.
You're done.
You're hook, line, and sinker, baby.
Yeah, we thought we were fishermen.
No. So, no, I completely agree with that. That I'm the same way. If you ever talk to my mom and dad about it, they'll tell you it's like I get out of one relationship and boom, within a couple weeks, I'm back into another one that gets way too serious.
Sorry, TikTokers are physicists. I'll figure it out next time.
Yeah, next time we're going to take care of this.
Yeah, we'll take it right.
We'll figure it out, but we kind of did this on the spot. But I am so glad that I get to be on TikTok with all you followers, and of course over here with all my followers on Facebook Live. This eventually, just so you know, everybody out there, I'll eventually get this taken care of, or the audio of this. I'll be able to download it, and I'll be putting it up on Spotify as well, just the audio version of this.
And I'll do better, too.
Oh, and we're going to get better.
We'll just do better.
Him and I are going to be together for a while. So we'll figure out how to upgrade this. Like I told you in one of my podcasts just recently, that I enjoy doing this where I have someone on the show or an interview or someone collaborating with me. Some of my best was JR, my friend who overdosed this last December. But some of my podcasts with him were fire. I mean, having two heads together talking about something does wonders.
I was always told two heads are better than one. Yeah. Only one circumstance it isn't.
No, that head is actually not good in any way at times. It definitely adds more problems.
Definitely a headache.
Yes, I am dealing with that right now. Now that I'm a son,
I'm not going
or now that I have a son.
That goes back on boundaries. I'm not going to allow myself to be hurt anymore by waiting for love. I'm not going to beg anybody to love me.
No, I'm not.
I'm not going to do it.
And
you know what? We're not owed love, you guys. We're not owed love. Nobody owes us anything.
Mm-mm.
Nobody owes us anything.
Mm-mm.
But we deserve it. If we're caring people, we deserve the love that we seek, no matter how we look at it.
Mm-hmm.
We might be crazy. Sorry.
Well, who's gonna love us if we can't even love ourselves?
Well,
who's gonna have trust in us and boundaries if we can't have trust in others and boundaries in others and develop that? If we can't honor ourselves and be okay with who we are, it's not going to work for anybody else to have a relationship with them either.
But I really kind of like who I am.
I'm definitely.
I mean, is that a kick in the pants? Am I putting my foot in my mouth?
I kind of like the vulnerability I have right now.
I kind of like who I am.
I'm vulnerable. I say what I need to say. I'm open and honest now with everything.
Yeah, love, comments, likes, suggestions.
Yeah, and so I look at everything, and it's in my life today as this is a learning process I'm going through. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, learning how to be a true person.
Right.
And that is...
And I get to edit mine, you don't.
Well, I don't get to edit it. Eventually I'll be able to. In fact, Facebook has more trimming and editing I can do.
But we're going to be fine. I was just thinking, I said, I'm almost recording. I didn't put it out yet.
Justin says, it strikes me that both of you fine gentlemen are struggling with relationships and seeking love. But first, relationships, you must cultivate lies within yourself.
There you go.
This guy is one of the smartest. I've never met a guy in treatment. I remember when we were in treatment in Kentucky, he came up to me because I'll just be honest, there wasn't a lot of intelligence going on in that treatment facility.
It's not counting.
And so I was struggling to find someone to hang out with. He was struggling. There was one other woman that he was connected in there that she was a wonderful person and very intelligent. But he comes up to me and was like, so looks to me like you're one of the other smartest, intelligent guys here in the place.
We can talk to
I
each
think
other.
we need to be talking. So I was like, yeah, that sounds good to me.
I just watched the Skulls last night. It was good.
Yeah. So where do we go? One of the things we wanted to talk about as well is being afraid of success.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But I'm totally it.
Yeah. I mean. So we're talking about having healthy relationships and going out and being able to live healthy. What happens when those things start actually happening?
What happens when the work comes? What happens when the work comes? Careful what you wish for because it's going to come if you're looking.
Yeah, what happens when the job starts going well? You start becoming a focal point of them at work where they like you being there and you're providing a service. What happens when you get in a relationship and it's going so well? That's where I get to that fear of success where it's like, oh God, when is it going to drop? When is that other shoe going to drop? When is the rug going to be pulled out?
I think your friend, was it Jason you said?
Justin.
Justin. Sorry about that, Justin.
No worries.
I think it's about what he just said is we're lying to ourselves about something. When we, I don't get really what that question is. If you can't tell, I'm hung up on it a little bit. But
what does being afraid of success mean for us? Because it's something that we struggle with for sure.
Well,
wouldn't you look at it as, for me, when I start getting everything back in my life, I've got a place to live that's secure. I've got money financially coming in that's secure. Maybe I've got a relationship now that I'm developing and growing in. I'm growing as a person. Usually in those spots, we talk about self-sabotage. That's when I start doing that.
That's exactly what I was going to say, self-sabotage.
And then all of a sudden, why do I do that? Is because I'm not used to having success and how you're supposed to live within that. I'm always used to things going wrong.
I'm used to being, and I heard we're used to being successful.
And that's just it. I'll get success.
We're doers, not donors.
Right.
Okay, I love that saying. I don't know if anybody's ever heard it.
Right.
But I'm a doer, not a donor. I love being present. There's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Presence. You gotta be present with, so once success comes, all of a sudden things are moving like a well-oiled machine, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not present. So now all of a sudden you start second guessing, am I really doing this right? Is this how it's supposed to look? Is this what it feels like to be successful? Mm-hmm. Because I have been there. And then you start over-analyzing. Because we're not trusting in our own decisions that we've already made.
Do you think that is because some of the decisions we've made in the past have made us feel that we're not trustworthy?
Absolutely. Well, in every relationship in my past have ended in a lie. Mm-hmm. So now everybody's a liar. You're all liars. And then it just turns back, well, maybe I'm a liar. Why am I a liar? I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah, you still second guess it.
But still you second guess it.
Mm-hmm.
You second guess, well, geez, maybe, am I?
Mm-hmm.
Am I lying? Is that a lie? No.
No,
it's not a lie. Because I said to do that. Or I asked for that to happen.
Correct.
But here we are. There's the boss.
Right.
Afraid to be the boss. Why are we afraid to be the boss? Some of us are a little too controlling.
Correct.
Control. We can't control things that we can't see, first of all. We can't control make anybody do anything that they don't want to do.
And I'm much like I know a lot of people.
That kind of took a left turn.
Well, no, but in the big book it says that we're like a director and we're trying to control the actors on stage to do what we want them to do. I'm more like a chessboard. I like to make sure all the pawns and the pieces and everything go the way I want them to go, and it never works that way. I'm always constantly trying to make. It's like quicksand to me. At times I'm in a quicksand of I need to make some choices that are right, but instead of just sitting still and letting it happen the way it's supposed to happen, I'm constantly making moves and decisions thinking that this is going, because I don't have any patience. I want things the way I want it, when I want it, and it's now. So when I'm doing it, I sink further and further in that quicksand, and it just goes over my head. I start suffocating.
Instant gratification are another big thing that we deal with. Mm-hmm. We want it done now, our way, and not forever. Mm-hmm. But the things you start usually tend to last a long time.
Right.
Or we're gonna nip it in the bud before it gets too big, because we're scared it's gonna really blow up.
Correct. I look at it that way as well as.
And that can go north or south.
Right.
It can be in the good side, and that can go on the bad side.
Like right now, if I had it my way, I'd be in my own little studio apartment. That's all I need. Or like I said the other day, if I could be in Alaska in the middle of nowhere with a nice little tiny home, living off the land, off the grid, I'd be there right now. But guess what? Not to say that won't be an option someday for me if I want it. It's just right now I'm not in that position to do that. And so I have to learn patience. I have to learn to be content with what I have. And, for what I have today in the life I have, I don't have any complaints. I know we talked about it the other day of you don't really want to say to somebody validation-wise that, well, gee, you could be homeless, because sometimes that sounds like you're being
always be worse.
Dismissive, and don't use that all the time because it's just a negative thing. But it's true. My life could be a lot worse than what I'm having today. I need to be content and happy with what I have, because if I am, everything goes smoother.
I think that's when codependency kicks in with me.
How is that? Explain.
So I'm stuck in the woods now, thinking, man, that really would sound great. Sounds like the life I would dream of. But where's my girl?
Oh,
where's my playmate? Like, where is my companion? See, I'm stuck. I am Mr. Loverboy. I've always been in a dang relationship.
You gotta have that companion.
I feel I need that companion. I would not do good alone. I don't do good alone.
See, I used to be that way, and now that I've been single...
That's another episode.
Right, altogether.
That's another episode.
Now that I've been single for the last couple of years, I've started to realize that I don't necessarily need a companion.
Right. And
I'm okay with being on my own.
I am okay on my own. I just don't choose to be.
Right.
I'm totally okay by myself. I thrive anywhere you put me. I will make a life out of whatever's dealt, whatever is in front of me. Mm-hmm. I'll do pretty good. I make broke look okay.
Well, we're addicts. We're survivors. We can find ways to make ourselves. How many guys go into an NA or an AA meeting and they're dressed to the nines and they have nothing to
nothing. Right. Put the bus pass.
The bus pass. That's what they got.
The bus pass back in your pocket.
No, Vince. I got my bus pass upstairs right now.
We're all good. Don't want to hurt nobody.
No, I'm on the bus everywhere.
Yes, you are. And what I'm driving isn't much of a vehicle. So anyway.
Again, I'm jealous. At least you have one. And the thing, I'm not jealous of the vehicle. I'm jealous you have your driver's license. I need to get it back. I'm $658 away from getting it back.
Well, we can work on that.
We're going to work on that.
We can work on that.
We're going to work on it.
Because there's programs for that. So
yes, there is.
There's definitely programs for that. I think that was a good part. I think...
Is there anything that frustrates you at all about recovery? Last thing to talk about.
Okay. How I had to let everything go in my life. How I had to let every single person I knew, for whether it be 3 days or 30 years, I had to start completely over because I was that deep. I mean, I was a mess. You know, recovery, thanks to Hennepin County Police. I mean, what I was doing.
It's the truth, yeah.
And I got caught doing. It saved my life, actually. I'm sure of it. The chances I just got could only be made from God. I know.
Well, and again,
or a higher spirit bigger than me.
Not against people having.
Bigger than me.
Just so people know, even though I'm an atheist and everything, I'm not against people's beliefs of how they want to believe.
Right. So, I mean, a greater hand than mine made it possible for me to have this next chance, my very last chance. Otherwise, I'm pretty much going to go to hell. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And they gave me mental court. See? Does that tell me something? That tells me a lot. That I'm more effed up than I think I was. Or I thought I was. Plain and simple.
Which allows you to get the help that you need to get now.
Absolutely. But I had to get rid of everything. I'm talking everything. I think I may have a couple speakers. You know?
You started over fresh.
I started over fresh. My girlfriend kind of has, you know, some stuff, and I have some stuff in the store. I mean, very, very little bit, but no person. And then the one I'm trying to hang on to right now is the very last thing. But I care for it. I love the woman. She's a good person. I have issues. And it's 50-50. I don't care what relationship's 50-50. Every relationship's 50-50. So it's either they're worth fighting for or they're worth letting them go.
Right.
Period.
Well, and I'll end this on that is
we just did a full circle here.
Right. Again, I've had to start all over again. You're stuck on that.
I'm told you I'm stuck.
I also have had to start completely fresh and over. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. That's the way I look at it. Is I'm coming out of the ashes and rebuilding my life. And I just want to say this to end this, that if you're out there and you're struggling right now with whatever addiction or anything like that, you can have victory over this.
Absolutely.
You can rise up and rebuild. Life is not over. We're obviously trying to be examples of that, and we're trying.
Trying to be smart.
That's all that matters is the trying. Don't give up.
Don't
give up. We're in your corner. We got your back. I'll be talking with you guys shortly again with another podcast. Remember, you can find me on the Recovery Atheist Facebook page, group page. You can find me on all the different platforms, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, to take me on the go with you when you're on the go. I want to thank Frog5150 over here.
5150, thank you.
Look him up on TikTok and his videos that he has there, and check him out. And
sappy stuff.
I'm sure you and I eventually will get back together again and do some more.
I want to say, if you don't got a plan, somebody else has one for you. So,
oh man, okay. That's so true. Remember that today.
You guys remember to make your own plan. You know, cut your own path. Please feel good about yourself. Love thyself for thyself.
Oh,
good. And that's all I gotta say.
Good way to end it. Hey everybody, I thank you for joining us tonight, and I love all of you. Recovery Atheist out. Peace.
Thanks for having me.